Yo, guys, what's going on? LuckyRave is back again to give you guys a live stream discussion slash review on Chainsaw Man chapters 155 to 172. And first of all, I just gotta say, it's been forever. Okay, it's been forever since I've talked about Chainsaw Man. Not intentional, by the way. It was actually not intentional. So, what happened between the end of 154 and up to where we are now? Well, couple factors. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was coming out at the time, and your boy was kind of stuck with that, plus work coming back from vacation. So that kind of had a double-edged sword on me. And then around that time, I'd also gotten sick, right? So because of that, I was like just like ill for like a couple months. And that held off not just Chainsaw Man, but the other anime manga series that I've been talking about, like Eden Zero and then Chainsaw Man and so on and so forth. But once I started to feel better, Eden Zero was coming to an end. So I decided to give my attention to that because, it was only just a number of chapters that were left before that was ending. And I told myself, okay, when Eden Zero ends, I will slowly rebuild the channel again, back to what it was. And of course, after Eden Zero ended, we went through a rebrand. Hence why now the channel is called Lucky Rave. But, for a good period of time, and this is still going to be going on, by the way, most of the videos I've done and the streams I've done have all been catered around, like, Hiro Mashima stuff. Be it Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest, Dead Rock, Eden Zero. But, I haven't really like tackled like a separate series like outside of that. And I knew Chainsaw Man was something I wanted to like get back into talking about because the latest stuff has been nuts to say the least. And I know 70 chapters seems like a lot to like digest, right? It seems like so much to digest. So what I will do for Chainsaw Man, make it simple, okay? I'll primarily go into the stuff like that like really stood out to me from these 17 chapters, and then just go from there. So, case in point, Nayuta. That's the big thing I want to talk about here. What the hell? That's the big thing is freaking Nayuta, because where I last left off with the manga on the channel anyway was where Nayuta was like kind of like held at a gunpoint by Barem. Okay, she was held at a gunpoint, and she did everything she could to save her big bro Denji, which I commend her for that. Okay, I commend Nayuta all the way for doing what she needs to do to save her big bro. Commend her for that. So she did all that. You get this flashback. Okay, the apartment's like coming down. Denji brings her over. So I'm going to say this is like immediately like after the ending of Chainsaw Man, is where we're getting this flashback. So Denji takes Nayuta to the apartment, and he says, "It's your home now." Do you understand what I'm saying? She doesn't really say much here, right? And she's thinking like, "Why do I feel pity for this person?" And you see like how Denji was taking care of her. Stuff we kind of already knew. Why do I want this heart? Who am I? Like you really get like Nayuta's like thought process on this, which I thought was like super incredible. According to the knowledge this man possesses, the old me was called Makima. Destroying his contract with Pochita, his dream of living a normal life will awaken Chainsaw Man. The same Chainsaw Man the old me once sought. If I grant her wish, I might find out who I am. This human is empty. I'll fill him up with happiness and then destroy it. So when you look at it like that, it's kind of one of those things where you kind of think to yourself, dude, that is kind of diabolical. It's not like one of those things where it's completely like, well, that comes out of left field. I think the signs were definitely there. You could tell, especially when you're looking at the state of the story, and especially with how Nayuta is. It's like, okay, starting off wise, you can kind of see that, but then you see with what's happened, right? Like you see the little dog walk stuff. You see her like just walking the dog, him like, or just Nayuta like holding his hand, and they're just like walking together. She's smiling and everything, and she just thinks to herself like, "Denji, you're a huge idiot. You don't think about anything." And this is all while she's like in bed, right? But Denji goes on to say, "Don't say mean crap right before bed." She's like, "You're also a student in Chainsaw Man, and what about me? Who am I? You're..." And dude, when I got to this part, I'm not gonna lie, this part hit. Okay, this part right here, this hit deep for me. Okay, he tells Nayuta like, "You're my family," and she's like, "Ugh, could you get any cheesier?" Like classic, like this would be like a super classic, like you know, big bro, like like big brother adoptive little sister drama. Like this is what this reminds me of. You've never had a family. You were always drawn to that word, but you threw that all away when you chose Chainsaw Man, didn't you? But then you still goes on to say this: "There is no way I could ever have a family. I mean, I killed my own dad." And as soon as that happens, like we just cut over. Okay, we cut over to like present day night, and Denji's like in bed. Now, this is where I'm gonna kind of speed run through everything that's happened. Okay, so Denji wakes up. He's thinking about Nayuta. Yoshida's there. Okay, and he's questioning like what happened to Nayuta. But we come to find out from Yoshida, Denji's been asleep for like a whole week. But even with all that, like Denji broke all the rules, and there's absolutely nothing that he could do for him. Of course, you see Fumiko there. You see the injections. Basically, they're about to like sever Denji. Okay, that's what's happening here. And Denji's like having like this internal like conversation with Pochita, and he's like, "I gotta get up," and she's like, "Why?" "I have to save Nayuta." "Save her? How can you do that without your legs?" And you see exactly what happens, right? So that's what you get here. Again, they're like severing Denji, okay? Like into like tons and tons and tons of pieces. Till nothing's left. We'll come to find out he's in the Tokyo Devil Detention Center. And who is really there, okay? Asamitaka and Yoru. They're there and they said, it would take a war to comprise this facility safety. And basically what we get for like a small handful of chapters is, I was gonna say, well, yeah, Fami's there too. Yeah, Fami, you have Asa slash Yoru, they're there. And they're all just talking about what's happened, okay? They're going through everything. Basically, the rundown I'm gonna give you. They both go in there, take out like all the security footage, all the cameras, all in the name to get Chainsaw Man, okay? And what happens here, I think says so much, okay? Because I'm gonna just cut straight to the chase here. So they run into Chainsaw Man, okay? Freaking Katana Man's there too. My favorite boy, Katana Man. Yeah, this guy's here. And you see what happens, right? They find the room. They find the room Denji's in. They're like, "Yo, Chainsaw Man's here," and they like try to gather all the pieces together. But then they find the head, and Asa's like, "What the hell?" Like, there is no way, because they all look towards Asa and thinking like, "Yo, that's your bae, right? Like, that's your boyfriend?" And she's like, excuse me? All this time? That's the guy? The boy I've been crushing on? Like, pretty much like since the aquarium? This guy is the one like Yoru's been after? The Chainsaw Man himself? That's him? So, like, it was one of those things where we all anticipated for a while, but getting to that point, I was like, oh, well, shit. And then, like I said, there's a big scuffle that happens for like a good period of time. And they do eventually get like Denji like back together. Okay. They get him back together. And dude, freaking Katana Man. This is the funny part. Katana Man's here, and he's like, "Yo, we need to settle the score. I'm not having this after what happened in part one. We're taking this right here, right now." And Asa's like the reasonable one here. She's like, "Hey, I thought we agreed we'd fight him after explaining everything." And then as soon as that happens, she like just like kicks Denji. And then that's when like Yoru pops in. She's like, "Yo, I don't need your human form. Wake up already." And going from there. And again, this is kind of heartbreaking for Denji because he's just thinking about Nayuta. He's like, "Where's Nayuta?" She's like, "Huh? Who's Nayuta?" That's what Asa slash Yoru says. But you see with what happens, and what looks to be like Denji's moping, but you come to find out, okay, to an extent, he's probably just hungry. That's what Fami points out. But in midst of all of this, Yoru switches back to Asa. Okay, so this is like Asa who's like kind of back in control here. And she tells Denji, and let me just be frank here. Within like this like string of chapters, you have some pretty good like Asa Den moments, okay? Some pretty good Asa Den moments, and one in particular I know that just caused the community to be like, "What the hell?" Like the reaction I saw, I'm gonna say this right now. For anybody that remembers Tokiguri, okay, the scene between Kaneki and Toga in chapter 125, I'm not gonna say it was along those lines, but the reaction was like the same level. It's like, bro, what the heck? Like it. Honestly speaking, it was nuts just to have that kind of reaction from the fan base. I was like, whoa, huh, okay, that's fascinating. But she tells Denji, like, "Hey, look, I know how it feels when a family member dies because of you." And she tells him, like, "Look, if there's anything I can do, just please let me help you." And of course, you can understand why Denji's kind of upset with everything that's happening. But like I said, Fami points out that maybe he's just hungry. Hungry just makes you feel super, super negative. And dude, boy just wants some sushi, okay? And you see the reaction on Asa's face. She's like, "But I hate sushi. Like, that is some disgusting stuff. I don't know how you can eat that." It's a funny reaction. And plus, just want to point this out here. 164, like if I'm timing this correctly, is the end of the recent volume that just came out in Japan. Volume 18, the one with Nayuta on the cover, which again, beautiful cover by the way. I love the volume cover of Volume 18. But the fact that you end off the chapter like that, the volume in and of itself too, it's nice. It's a nice volume ending for the. It's a nice chapter ending for the volume. I'll say definitely for like final chapters of a volume. This one's definitely up there for sure. But we move forward to chapters 165. Okay, and again, this is kind of like the beginning of like the big like Asa and Denji moment that happens. Basically, he talks about where like his life's been, where it was like in the very beginning, where if he was hungry, he would like eat from like the garbage, which we all knew that. We all knew that. But then Katana Man, this fool talks about like, yo, maybe you need like a woman because women like to excite like a certain thing when it comes to dudes. And then as soon as he brings it up, that just gets Denji like thinking, like, wait a like if y'all remember like Denji, so old school. Okay, I mean, talking like part one days, super early Denji. Okay, Denji's like thinking about that. He's like, I haven't really thought about that, and that just kind of throws Asa off. She's like, wait, what? Like we're all worried about you, like trying to save you, and all you're thinking about is like trying to get it in. Like that's the thing. But you see what happens here. Katana Man leads them to like an inn, if you will, like a private estate. But then you see what happens. Okay? It's raining and everything. But poor Denji, he's like, dude, I keep thinking with the wrong thought process, and because of that, freaking Nayuta. Like it ruins everything with me. And Asa transforms back into Yoru, or I should say, they kind of switch sides. Okay, so Yoru's here. She's just like, "Yo, I'll cut it off for you." I was like, "Bro, what the heck?" No, like no lie. Getting to this part, I'm like thinking, "Wait, hold the phone. So say that one more time, Asa. You gonna cut it off?" But then you kind of come to find out what happens. Okay, so this is the big chapter, chapter 167. You get this moment right here where Denji's like kind of fighting her off. The knife kind of falls to the ground, and then yo, okay. I'll say it like this: like she grabs the stick. Say it in a politeful way. She grabs the stick. Asa, in this case, Yoru grabs the stick. She's telling him like, "Look, I have no interest in your foolish feelings. All I care about is fighting Chainsaw Man for real. And if I have to crush like the stick, then I will do whatever it takes to get you into that mood." But then you get the smooch. Okay? Now it's not the first time that we've had Yoru like smooch Denji on the lips. But then she's thinking like, wait, kiss? Huh? We've kissed. And then same thing happens again. And again, there's no words being spoken whatsoever, okay? But you see what's going down. Going down. That's what she said. No, but for real, like you see what happens. They're like locking lips, and she's doing all this while like attempting to like like crush the stick. But what happens instead, dude? Yoru got the juice. Yo, Yoru got the. I'll say it like that. Yoru, while trying to mess with the stick, got the juice in the hand. I was like, bro, what the heck? Look, I'm not even joking. Like, she literally, while trying to mess with the stick that Denji has, a word like that, okay? What she came away with in the palm of her hands was some of his juice. Or in this case, I think this is a better way to put it, goo. Yeah, definitely. So she came off with like some of his goo, which you get to that reaction, right? See what happens? She's like, ugh, it's kind of gross. But then you get this whole thing where she's like, yo, I only kissed it because I felt good. And again, that just throws Denji off. Like, wait, what? Like, we did all that and you're still just doing this? He's like, wait, do you like me? No, I don't like you. Only the other me likes you. We're referring to Asa, right? And she pretty much mentioned that, like, look, her feelings towards you kind of flowed into me. And because of that, I reacted a certain way. Then she just walks up and says, okay, I'm hungry. So eat some sushi, perk up, and prepare to fight. Then you see what happens. He's by himself. Yoru's, like, again, by herself, too. And Asa's, like, just, like, slapping her in the head. It's like, stop it, idiot. Ow, ow. Asa, why'd you kiss him? Like, I sensed we kissed before. I was only confirming my suspicions. It felt good, didn't it? But then you see what happens. And, dude, look, I've loved Asa since day one, but the shit she pulls here is just funny as hell. And to be fair, if I had another entity within me doing some shit like that, I'd probably punch myself too. Because you're always like, wait, don't you care? That hurt. I thought you liked Chainsaw Man. Shouldn't you be happy? And then this is where we get the back and forth, right? Because Asa takes back over and she's like, he'll think I'm a slut now. You slut. Then cut over. I'm hungry too. I'm hungry too. Wait, I'm too hungry for this. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. So Asa's there. I said Asa. Denji's there. Fami's there too. Death by Sushi. That's like a musical. If I'm thinking the way Fujimoto thinks, I'm going to assume that's a musical reference, without a shadow of a doubt. But then we get to the sushi stuff, okay? And the sushi stuff, I think, says so much, okay? Because he's there, he's waiting for the sushi. They're about to eat. And then this is what happens. Of all people, freaking Barem shows back up. So you have to wonder, if he's here, where the frick is Nayuta? That's the important question. If he's here, you have to wonder, okay, where is freaking Nayuta at? Okay. And Denji's like not having. He's like, oh, last time I saw you, my little sister was in trouble. I need answers. Where is she? And Barem's like, yo, chill, relax. Let's just eat. We need to have some food. That's all we got to do. And dude, what Barem does, I ain't gonna lie, it's some like cruel shit that happens. Okay, because you see what's going down. Everyone's kind of freaking out, and you're like wondering, like, okay, what is it? Well, like, what are they seeing that's having them so freaked out? And then Denji looks over in the corner, sees Nayuta's head. Now I remember when this chapter first came out, and I wish I talked about it when I did, but the reaction Denji has, I'm pretty much like up to date at this point. Because like I said, these chapters of Chainsaw Man go by quick. Okay, they go by super quick for the most part. I mean, like the only real thing I didn't really like dive so heavily into is who's there. So I talked about Fami, Asa, Katana Man. There was a couple other people too, and I'm about to mention them right now. So let me see here. Just so I have everyone here. Oh yeah, also about to mention. You also have the guillotine devil show up, which I thought was like, whoa, that's that's interesting. But okay, here's who we got here. Nobana comes up. He's there, and Haruka's there too. So got a couple people that we've kind of ran into before. They're there. Takagi's there. Nail Fiend shows back up too. Again, same thing with Yoru. Quan Chi's mentioned very briefly. Yeah, actually, Quan Chi also shows up too for like a brief period, and I think Quan Chi's still there. Yeah, no, Quan Chi's still there. At least up until like 163, if I remember correctly. But no, like you see what's going down from this point forward, and like it really does say a lot when you see, like when you consider everything Denji's been going through. Okay, so let me put it like this: 155. I think it's 155, right? 155, 156. Let me look at the story arcs real quick just to get an idea. So, if I'm looking at arcs, okay, so up to 155. From 132 to 155, that was the Chainsaw Man Church arc, okay? So, from 156 onwards, up to where we're currently at, like, that's the current arc. But when you go from the end of the Chainsaw Man Church arc to where we are now, it's like, dude, what the heck? Not only just that, but you see the reactions from everyone, okay? Nobana's reaction, Asa's reaction, Haruka's reaction too. And, dude, this man, Barem, savage as fuck, okay? I'm gonna just say right now, this man is like just savage. He says, sorry, bud. This is downright cruel of me, isn't it? No way around it though. It's all to save the world. And Denji, yo, this is like if you see the title of the chapter, this is what I'm referring to. Denji is unhinged. Denji says, "Okay, you know what? Now all cuffs are off. I'm doing everything I can to find my little sister, and this is the kind of shit you want to pull? No, we're not doing this." Asa notices it too. Same thing with Yoru, and dude, the fight that ensues. Okay, so Barem leaves a mark on Denji, but then, oh, dude, the Black Chainsaw Man shows back up. Pretty much Pochita. Pochita is like back in the fray. Everyone's like terrified. And like you have some of the civilians going like, yo, target sighted at the front of the building. Eyeless Black Chainsaw Man confirmed. Devil Extermination, Division 1, Team A, and Division... I said, okay, Devil Extermination. There we go. Devil Extermination Division 1, Team A, and Devil Extermination Division Team 2B. Okay, 2 Team B. Wow, that's a mouthful. Commence action. See what happens. Special Division 5 has arrived at the destination. And you get like all these reactions, right? Like you see like what you assume would be like the special forces. It's like, yo, we here, we're about to like we're about to come in here, we're about to rock Chainsaw Man, right? Freaking Pochita here. And dude, I'm gonna just say this right now. 172? Look, I'm gonna just let the chat try to speak for itself. Bzz, boom, chomp. They're all there, okay? And they're all thinking, yo, we can take on Pochita / the Black Eyeless Chainsaw Man. And, dude, Pochita is like wrecking shop, okay? One of them's like, I dodged it, but then you come to find out, oh shit, no, the head's been severed. And then we get like an interesting thing, okay? So all of Special 5 is like just done. They're like, no, like gone. Like completely off the grid. So they're like completely, like I said, just annihilated within seconds. Then, Special Division 6 pops in, okay? They're there. And here's the thing about the Black Chainsaw Man. If he wipes out any devil, then whatever that devil is like manifested from, like whatever fears brings about that devil into existence, then the Black Chainsaw Man, aka Pochita, can like just erase whatever that devil's based off into existence. And this in particular too, this says a lot. Because you see what happens. And again, this shot here with freaking Pochita, like just going all in, again, unhinged, don't blame him whatsoever, okay? Then we get like this like shot of an ear, right? He's targeting ear. The fact that we have an ear devil, I'm just thinking like, who's afraid of ears? That's my big thing. Who in the hell is afraid of ears? That's the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, dude, how can you be afraid of ears? Like, how? But I'm sure someone's out there in the world that's like, maybe they just don't like how ears look. Katana Man's there. He's like, yo, where's Chainsaw Man? And Yoru's like disappeared. What'd you say? Something disappeared. And if you notice, okay, because she tries to feel her ear, and then it's like, wait a second, it's the freaking ear. Ear's gone. I'm like, that's the cliffhanger, okay? That is the cliffhanger for 172. And I gotta say, insane. Okay, it is so insane to see where we are with Chainsaw Man currently. Like I said, you would think with 17 chapters, you cover a lot of stuff. And in a sense, you kind of do. You cover a lot with, like, where Denji's state of mind is. But at the same time, you also get like some interesting like little like moments with like Asa and Denji, especially like the alley scene too. The alley scene was like the big talking point for a lot of people. It was like, yo, what what is this madness I'm seeing? And of course, the for me the big one's freaking Nayuta. Okay, now do I believe Nayuta's dead? No, I don't believe she's dead in the slightest. Okay, Fujimoto, I'm pretty sure knows just how valuable Nayuta is as a character. And I mean, look at the end of the day, it is his story, right? But Nayuta's a big deal. Okay, I see this being kind of like a ploy for Denji, a big old ploy just to get him to where he is. Because what did freaking Barem say to Denji? Oh, I'm doing this so you can step up to save the world. It's a very twisted view to like push someone in that direction, but it is a direction nonetheless. And I'm gonna say the chances of Nayuta's survival right now, 70% guaranteed survival. 30% chance she's okay. Let me reword that. 70% chance what we saw of Nayuta was a fake. Okay? And 30% chance that's actually the real Nayuta. I don't believe that for a fact that that's the real Nayuta, okay? I feel like whatever that was of Nayuta was just staged for Denji to get into that state that he's in right now. And dude, the fact that Pochita is like all in at this point, like unhinged, taking like people out like left and right, says so much. It really does say so much. And the fact that the ear devil's like gone, and the fact that it like erased ears, like it is it's an incident that's gonna make you think, where do we go from here? You know? That's the thing. It makes you go to a point where you think something has to come out of this. And I know it's getting a lot of people thinking, is Chainsaw Man coming to an end soon? Because of the state Denji's in. The fact that Pochita's the one like in control. How much longer is Chainsaw Man gonna last? Now, and I did the math on this. So if you all remember, Chainsaw Man lasted up until I want to say chapter 98, right? 97, 98. Let me go back and check real quick. So if we go back to part one, which was the public safety saga, that goes all the way up until okay, chapter 97. So I was right about that. So you go from chapter 97, okay? And this is just me assuming we're gonna hit like the same number of chapters. So if you multiply that by 2, part 2, again, if we're thinking it would end along the same lines, part 2 would end at 194. And again, that's assuming Fujimoto's going for the same stride, where we're gonna end the series the same chapter, like where part 2 ends at the same chapter number as part 1. So if you do 97 times 2, like I said, that's 194. And where we're currently at right now is chapter 172, right? That's the latest chapter that's at this point in time. Is 172. Given that, that would mean we would have less than 22 chapters left. Now, could that just be the end of Chainsaw Man as a whole? 22 chapters remaining for just part 2? I think that's more than possible. More than likely, I think it is an ending of just part 2. And then we'll get a part 3. I do think that's a case. That is definitely a possibility. A huge possibility. Again, percentage game wise, I'll say 85% it's an ending for part 2. And a 20% chance it's an ending for the whole series. That's my bet. Because there is still a lot we got to cover too, okay? I don't think we're going to get the Death Devil and then we're just going to wreck shop altogether. I don't see that being the case. But Fujimoto is a man of unpredictability. If there's one thing we can say about Fujimoto, he is a man of unpredictability. And it does kind of get your gears turning and thinking like, yo, okay, where do we go from this current point? And you gotta think, because some chapters of Chainsaw Man, especially part two, they do lead into that direction. Plus, there's the whole. You also have to remember, there's the whole thing with the fake Chainsaw Man. Also, okay, he's still out there, so that's a plot point that needs to be resolved. Also, that's why I'm saying I highly doubt this would just be the end of Chainsaw Man altogether. I do believe that there will be a part three, and what we're gonna get right now, again, assuming Fujimoto wants to hit the same number of chapters as part one, then 22 chapters are left, right? That's assuming. Speculation here. 22 chapters are left for part two. And then eventually part three will come out. Eventually. Just a matter of how we get there and what's going to happen. Right now, like I said, Pochita's in control. That's the big thing. Pochita's in control. He's wrecking shop, and I'm fascinated. Okay, I'm like so fascinated to see what goes down with Chainsaw Man, with Pochita at the helm right now. What Asa's gonna do, what Katana Man's gonna do, and also where's Fami's been too. Okay, Fami's kind of been like off the grid for like the past what 2-3 chapters at this point. So I don't think that's just a coincidence. I really don't. Something's there with Fami, and I do get curious as to what that's going to be moving forward. But overall, my thoughts on like these handful of chapters of Chainsaw Man as a whole, I'll say amazing. They're an amazing stretch of chapters for Chainsaw Man. I can't wait to see what happens next. And yeah, pray Nayuta's safe. That's my big thing. Like, if there's one thing Denji does need, the guy does need a happy ending. Okay, like at least the happiest of happy endings that he can possibly get. I don't mean sunshine and rainbows, because we know Denji's life has been kind of shit. We know that, but dude, taking away Nayuta, that's the biggest crime. And we're seeing that right now. You mess with Nayuta and Denji goes all out, and we're seeing that. And again, even though it's Nayuta, it does say so much. It really does. But other than that, like I said, these handful of chapters as a whole, amazing. Like seeing the direction of where we're going. Who I think is going to step into the fray, I could see Femi step in. See Asa step in too. This whole situation with the ear, though, does make you wonder, like, what the state of the what the state of the situation is going to be, like for the world of Chainsaw Man. Because having no ears, not gonna lie, it's a very scary thing to think about. Because you need the ears to like hear what someone's saying, right? To like get a grasp of the situation at hand and like communicating, right? Like, where does that lead you? Like, is that everyone going to start using like sign language and everything? Is that where we're going to go? But for the time being, guys, like that's pretty much all I got to say when it comes to Chainsaw Man chapters 155 to 172. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are on these handful of chapters. How do you guys feel about the direction of where Fujimoto's taking the story? How do you guys feel about Pochita just like at the helm of this whole like onslaught and the situation with the ears? How do y'all feel about that? And do you guys believe, honest to God, Nayuta is still safe out there? All of this is just a ploy to get Denji just unhinged. What do you guys think Asa's gonna do? Katana Man. Also, I'm very much aware people are still waiting for the return of Reze. The chances of Reze coming back, my personal opinion, if I have to take a bet at this current time in the story, I'm going to say 50-50. There's a 50% chance, and I think it might lower a little bit. So let's say 45% chance she does come back, 55% chance she doesn't. I know it's a huge, that's a huge margin that you have to consider. But also, you have to imagine the promise Denji made to Power about trying to find her. There's that too. But Other than that, you guys, that's pretty much all I have to say when it comes to this discussion of Chainsaw Man. I'm Lucky Rave. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Chainsaw Man, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Later.